Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome everybody to Alice Mobius. And as always, with me is Alter. How are you dealing with life, Alter?
I'm dealing, I guess.
I have made it to my life's choice that, or my life's mission that every start will somehow have slightly different way of me asking you how you're doing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Today we have a doozy, don't we?
That's one word for it. Today we have truly one of the matches of all time. I I don't even know how to evaluate what I'm looking at, but I am going to try my best because that's what I'm here for.
We have a match sent to us by our mutual friend, who you have heard of as Hyena Maids. So let's look at the team comps so that we can have a nod at Hyena himself.
So, just to be clear, we didn't Photoshop these. These are real team comps that really happened in a real match. So, on the left side, you look at the top. Like let's really go like top to bottom here. You see the GPO2 beam bazooka, and you're like, oh, okay, that's actually pretty solid. I mean, like it's kind of not in vogue anymore, but honestly, it holds up really well if you know how to play it properly. You have the Despada, which is weirdly one of the most underrated mobiles in the entire game. I don't know. I have no idea what compels people to downplay it. It is good at basically everything. I've heard this talking point of, oh, the reload times are long, but like you have so many goddamn weapons. You have lock-on funnels you can fire while boosting on a 550 that like just I can't imagine you being in a situation where you're like, oh no, I have nothing to do because stuff is reloading. But I digress. The Despada is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
And people aren't playing it for some reason.
my favorite also argument about the Despada is that it's too wide. By the way, that's an argument that people casually make.
If that's the case, that as the MP double Zeta a top tier 600, like I could go on with this one, but I mean, like clearly, I'm not gonna say its wide frame isn't like a weakness that it has, but I mean, okay, let's look at the Rebawu, for instance. People complained for eons like it was a fucking biblical plague that had been visited upon this game, and like that thing is very wide. Like, if anything, I'd say it's probably a wider overall profile than this because the legs are also wide. It's easier to hit those.
Meanwhile, the perfect.
I digress. Yeah, and then we have we have the Gyaradoga Heavy Arms, which is one of the supports that you can play in this game. You shouldn't, but you could play it if you, I don't know, if you fucking hate yourself or your teammates, I guess. Like, I actually can't decide if I hate that more or less than the level 3. That's a level 3, right? That's a 550, isn't it? It would have to. Like, everything here looks like it's 550.
I think everything here is, you're correct, 550, so the Gyaradoga heavy equipment type is currently at its level 1.
And to be fair, that is the best version of it, but that's like, I don't know, it's still, that's like being the best microwave that you could use to cook your steak. Like, you're doing something just so incredibly wrong here. Like, it's simply the least worst version of the thing. But yeah, I'm almost less bothered by the level 3 Gunner Gun. It does have good modifiers, at least if I remember correctly. And
yeah, it's
you could use like,
way.
Oh, is it
500?
I'm trying to give this guy so much credit, and he's making it so hard by just like, well, maybe you pick something better than the fuck ass Gyaradoga Heavy Arms, but no, you gotta really make that competitive. You gotta like really race your way to the bottom with this fucking guy. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself here. The Zaku 3 is fantastic. Like it's actually it's really underrated. I think people. It's a combination of two things that keep people from. No, three things actually. One is that it's not very flashy. People don't like things that aren't flashy. That's why the Bawu isn't popular, even though it is absolutely insane with that fucking charged beam rifle primary. Even just the beam shield is very good. The wing missiles will delete any support in the game, even a lot of raids, and often break the legs of generals. But I mean, back to the Zaku 3, it's another one of these things that just isn't especially flashy or over the top or like has nothing that really goes out and grabs you about it. Further compounding that, it is very fat and has especially fat legs, and that is a weakness. I'm not going to say that's not a limiting factor because, I mean, if you can complain about the Despacito, this is like fucking two of them side by side. And I guess
Well-
the third thing, and this one is somewhat valid, is that the floaty movement feels insane bad. I will say the Zaku 3 feels space where it's not a factor. And on land, like, it is, if you like it and you want to cook with it, it is worth getting used to the floaty movement, but
Yep.
I can see why some people, like, I had this with the Good Plant TR5, for instance, which is one of the best 500 generals, but, like, I try playing it and I'm like, holy shit, fuck this, I'm putting this back on the shelf. This just doesn't feel good. I can play simply strong picks at, like, because it's not the best 500, I don't think. So I could play things like the Geo7,
Yep.
for instance. But anyway, on to the other team. The Alex is, I mean, I wouldn't play it at 550, but it's not terrible.
I mean, if you have overtuning, go for it, I guess. If you can just load it with overtuning.
That would only be the level 3, right?
Oh yeah, that is the level 3, that's right. Why was I thinking that it's the... yeah, ignore me. Ugh.
I also just realized how, like... Oh wait, no, never mind. I was thinking something different. Anyway, yeah, like, you know, it's level 3, so it's okay. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't just play the GPO 1 at that point if you wanted something in that vein, but I digress. The Gyarados Kai is like the first thing in here that makes me feel sane again. I guess the Despacito too, but like the Gyarados Kai is where I'm like, oh, this is actually a fantastic, like, it was the best general in the game for so long until the Perfect Enema came out, and I don't even count that because that's so, like, fundamentally game breaking that just, like, that's going to be better than anything. So I mean, the Gyarados Kai is a solid man, and it holds up really well even at 600. We have the Blossom. I'm guessing the level 2 version if it's 550, and this guy's playing it at cost. But no, the Blossom is also really good. I mean, it's better at 500, but it still makes the leap to 550 because it's just a very solid, well-rounded kit, and it's fairly mobile. And you have a ping. Pings are good.
Yeah.
And then you have
not one.
You have the GPO2 Beam Bazooka and the GPO2 Beam Bazooka. And
buy one, get one free.
I mean, how often the guy on the other team playing the GPO2 have felt when he ran into both of these guys and it's like, wait, what the fuck? Like,
what's going on here?
Well, because it's unlikely that you see one of these in a game, let alone one on each team, let alone 3 between the 2 teams. And I mean, everything I said still applies. I will say that I think this kind of hurts the comp when you have 2 of them. Like, it is kind of this, like, relatively tanky, line-breaking raid, but it's sort of like having 2 Jig and CHs. It's like when you have one guy doing that job, it works really well. When you have 2 of them trying to do the same job, you're kind of on each other's toes, so to speak, and also making the rest of your team pay for it. But I guess that's all there is to say for the team comps, and it is a mouthful because these team comps are like something out of a fucking fever dream that I had.
I will thank PJ for showing us, sorry, Hyena. I will probably have to cut that one out. I will have to thank Hyena for his... now, we will explain that that is the nickname we call him, not his actual name in both cases of what I mentioned.
I don't think anybody thought his name was Hyena.
Or the other one that I mentioned. But Hyena sent us his build as well. It's a pretty straightforward build if you ask me, but he leans heavily into his melee power.
I will say, if you're going to prioritize one or the other, the melee does make more sense. I think you can actually build the Zaku 3 more different right, quote-unquote, ways than most things in this game. Like, I personally go with a mixture of, like, mostly melee-oriented in terms of the damage, but I also go heavy on the durability, because you're very much like this big, beefy, frontlining, like, people are going to be shooting at you. It's like playing the Gyarados or the Domtropin or something, where it's like, if you're there, you're going to be taking damage. But you don't exclusively have to do that. Some people do just go all in on the offense, and it is naturally pretty durable anyway, so you can get away with it. That's just preference. What I think is interesting is you can choose to either run range parts for your range, or you can use those slots for like a level 3 beam or ballistic resistance. So actually, yeah, there's a lot of little things you can do with the Zaku 3, but I think as somebody who plays an assload of it myself, I like what I'm seeing. I think he has a pretty good build here.
So let's begin to see his Mat Solway.
I am not ready.
Now, I should cover that he is colored in the And the general level colors. He really
Man, that shield needs to be that orange-red, though. That's I mean, on so many levels. But I mean, that's whatever. That's a matter of opinion, right?
Yep.
All right, so
I think it's a
he finds
special mod.
yeah, it is based on the spawns. It has to be.
The poor thing is getting blitzed right away.
Yeah, he found himself in a very awkward spot there, but fortunately, he's tanky, and they're both raids. I do think him turning around immediately to go after the one around the corner there was the right play. Like, there's no good version of that scenario, but that's probably the least worst one that you can eke out of the circumstances. Now, see, this is like, people don't use that thing enough. The mouth beam gun is like the reason you play this.
Hyena is making a very nice job to try to regroup with his team.
I think the biggest thing to point out here is that, like, again, he is playing a very beefy frontliner, like I mentioned earlier. He's creating so much pressure with this. He has 3 dudes chasing him down, just, like, looping around the hill in the center. And what the fuck is that GPO2 paint job? I'm sorry, that took me out of my own head. My god. Anyway, as I was saying, he's creating so much pressure for his team. And even though they don't have any kills yet, which is, like, the worst to see after you do a very, like, you know, pressure vacuum kind of play like that. You know,
very
it's
quickly focus the support, try to clear it out of the way to make sure that it's now out of the game.
See, something you're seeing here? Oh.
Oh, we got a Warcry right ahead. Hyena with the play.
That was actually pretty fantastic. Okay, see, that was really smart. That was like hit confirming like you would see in a fighting game, which is something that, like, I think not enough people do in GBO. Something you definitely can do. He goes for the first shot and it misses, and then he's like, well, wait, I could just the second swing and that'll connect, and it did. And so he saved himself the trouble of having to, like, waste more thrust to go in and, I don't know, hit him with the bayonet saber or something.
Yep.
Or whatever other course of action he might have gone for there. So yeah, really, really smart.
Hyena rushing down, and what a chance to take the hit in. Got the assist as well.
That probably looks awkward to a lot of people, but I actually think the wraparound side swing was kind of a smart play there.
Yeah, and suddenly they have taken the lead with Hyena just leading that pressure.
Yeah, this is good, like, frontlining general play. Like, this is just like, I've played games with really complex macro gameplay, and it's like, what a bait. Like, in GBO, it really is very simple 99% of the time. It's just like, create pressure do things that create pressure for your team, or take pressure away from the enemy team. Like,
he did not hit again, which means that the ally is safe as well.
Yeah. Very, very measured play going on here. And see, I was about to say, this is the time where you want to switch to that head beam and run in. Something you'll be noticing if you're not familiar with the Zaku 3 is that, like, you can really spam this thing. I think it's like, is it 5 shots? I should know this.
6 shots, I think, is the average.
See, I was gonna say 6.
He can also TP1, confirms the kill so that he can get also the assist. He knew that he didn't have much health, so he used to take out the assist and get the guaranteed pretty much assist, I guess, for the teammate.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, that mouth beam gun stuns in... I was just going to say, the mouth beam gun stuns in 3 shots, which also means you can fire... Like, your primary stuns in 2 shots. You can do 1 shot of the primary, 2 shots of the mouth beam gun, so, like, which you can also use your maneuver armor for. So yeah, people really need to be more liberal with that mouth beam gun when they do play this, because it takes a lot of shots to overheat. It is... I was pretty sure it was 6, but I was, like, doubting myself. Because I usually only pepper people
usually right.
Isn't it the other way around? If you doubt yourself, you're usually wrong. It was in this case, too.
When you doubt yourself and you're like, instead you're, you know, when you doubt the first answer, usually the first answer is right.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, you're wrong to doubt yourself.
The Alex getting picked out at very low health against a very tanky, very all-roundist unit. And here we see
I really like the movement here. Yeah. No, I really, really like the movement here. Like, this weird fucking, like, I don't know, a rumba or whatever the fuck he's doing with his legs. Like, he was really, really making good use of his spacing there while he harassed this poor Alex from the hill.
He's trying to keep
That's
away the
another thing
Alex
is-
from the artillery as well. Or at least the
Yeah.
Alex pallet. Stopping the artillery will be a big deal for the team. But I
He
think that
definitely
fucked
will,
a bit-
especially when it's this close.
I think he realized that there's no point in holding it there, so he goes to his team. This team is the Sparta got himself in a bad. What a saw!
Yeah, that's actually like the biggest thing that like. Oh. That's the biggest thing pilot shenanigans afford you, just wasting the enemy team's time. Like, on the whole, like, large sample size of games, that's going to be the most value you
That's what
get
said,
out
by
of
the way,
pilots.
ironically, right there. 2 shots and 1 mouth beam.
Yep, this guy knows what he's doing.
Peppered him with that, so that he won't get in the way of teammate. Oh,
How many shots was that?
He fired 3 before, let 1 cool off, and then he fired 4 more, I think.
Okay, so yeah, it is sick. Man, I need to not second guess myself. I did this on the fucking Ifrit Jaeger video as well, or Ifrit custom video as well. Let's see.
He assisted his team because the enemies were far away.
Another thing to point out there is just, and this has also been kind of relevant to some of the earlier skirmishes, is ASL gets just exponentially better the further you are from the target. Like,
Use the maneuver armor through the teammates' funnels. Oh, the movement.
yeah, the spacing is really, really fantastic here. I'm kind of jealous, honestly.
I've told you
I don't
that
move
only
this
gets
well
better.
with this thing.
I
Alright,
think
they're in a pretty good position here.
Yeah. Ooh,
'cause, like-
cut him out of the maneuver armor.
2 people are dead, one is near full health, the other is like, I don't know, like 5/8 or so, but not too bad, like enough that,
Oh, what an assist!
fantastic counter.
And that is also the other teammate, the enemy's team. What an exceptional play we're seeing here.
Absolutely.
Oh,
This guy's doing the anime protagonist support special that I see from more supports than I should, but you know, for some reason that never deters them. No amount of it just not working seems to slow anybody down. Everybody's got to be fucking Shiro Amada. Oh,
Oh.
this is...
this is really
It's-
close.
And he just barely has enough time to respawn and to do anything at all. So it'll be a question of whether or not he has time to
Let's
be
see
the one to
what-
close it out for his team. Oh my god.
And he got it!
Oh
got
my
it!
god. Do you need any further endorsement for the mouth beam gun?
He finished off on the spot, and he had top damage and top individual score. Just in case you were curious about it, allow me to just disappear for a moment, but yeah, right there.
Those are some solid numbers for... Wait, who had top divisions? Was it him?
It
No.
was the Sparta. And the crazy
He played kind of more of a mid-range game a lot of the time, though. That's another thing, is that, like, something else that makes the Zaku 3 so good is that you actually can do that. Like, you can't do that with a lot of other, like... Okay, let's say the Dryson, for instance, which is a similar unit at the same cost as far as just big, stupid, obnoxious frontliner that just bears down on you. And
Yep.
it can't do mid-range combat in the same way that the Zaku 3 can.
Yep. But
So, I...
put up a
Oh, sorry, go on.
So
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, not only is this kind of a testament to how you should be playing the Zaku 3, it's a testament to how you should be handling macro play in this game in general. Like I said, like it just goes back to that thing of everything you do should be in service of creating pressure for your team or taking away pressure from the enemy team, wasting people's time. Like, you look on that first push there, he had 3 people chasing him halfway across the map, looping around that hill awkwardly. Like, it was 2 people, then a 3rd dude joined in. So, like, think about the amount of time that 3 of the 5 people on the enemy team are just not doing shit. And that's the other thing, is like, GBO in general is maximize your ratio of time spent alive to time doing shit. Like, actually making things happen in any kind of measurable way. Because, like, I mean, that's why we don't eject from our MS to save the 25 points for the pilot kill, right? Like, because it's not worth the time lost to get back to a point and get back in. It's also why we don't waste time going to repair your MS full at the base. That like just does not happen, because you'd rather just get your MS in semi-working condition, like you can walk and at least do something to somebody, because you'll get in there, do things, die quicker, get back in quicker, and just, you know, in like the sum total of these actions is you have maximized your time spent actually doing shit in the game.
Of course, and that's exactly what you know, we always say. When you're playing, especially around teammates, and that's something that Heine is always commendable for, he doesn't get in unless he's certain that he can get something out of it. As you've noticed pretty much in every match and every part of the match right here, he hasn't been in the way of teammates, and if anything, he actually is avoiding hitting teammates or even hitting the same enemies as teammates unless it's totally needed. To get a guaranteed assist, get a guaranteed finish, or anything of the sorts. As you see right behind me right now in the quick replay, I guess you could say, countering someone for a teammate's help. No other reason other than just to help the teammate.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people, like, I've talked about how people in GBO have a really self-perspective. Like, for instance, you have that dude that will play the... Everybody knows this dude. You've had this dude on your team countless times if you play this game regularly. Maybe even not regularly. But the dude that picks the Marasai or the Ifrit Jaeger and he sits behind your support and he just kind of plays like the other support. Like, he exists in a vacuum. Like, it's him versus the singular person to be looking at presently. Like, the other 9 people or 8 people, I can't do math. The other 8 people in the game just don't exist. And it's like, you can win games doing that. You win a lot more games doing this. And even if you want to look at it from a strictly selfish perspective, things like PJ running in... PJ, did we say his name is PJ? I don't think he minds that we said his name is PJ. I'm sorry to dox you, PJ. I hope we can still be friends. But anyway, like things like, you know, PJ slash Hyena Mage slash Arzaku 3 player on trial here, running in and tackling the guy, just from a purely selfish standpoint, that's his teammate not taking damage, so his teammate's not going to, he's going to be less likely to eat and die. It's him knocking somebody down and dealing damage to him. Like, even if you only give a shit about yourself, it is in your best interest to play in a way that helps your team. Like, this is a game where, like, the other element of macro in this, and that applies to basically every team-based PvP game, is, like, numbers advantages just win. Like, if you group for that first fight, and this is also why we don't stop and take beacons off the bat in most cases, like most maps, with seldom exceptions, is because grouping with your team and picking somebody off immediately turns a 5v5 into a 4, and then you just snowball from there and you win that first fight. And the first fight is always the most important, one that has the most influence on the whole game, by far.
And I think that overall covers the match, though. In what you just said just now, it covers literally what we saw Hyena or Zaku 3 Pilot perform right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was gonna, like, these are all things that are evoked in the gameplay we just saw. Like, if you want a really good example of kind of this being pro-oriented and being team-oriented in the replay, is there was that point where PJ stops and he goes to, like, swing at the pilot a little bit, and I get it. I get why he would do that, but he realized he was spending a little bit too much time on it. He's like, oh, well, fuck this. Like, this isn't serving me. It isn't serving the team. I'm just going to ignore this dude and go make shit happen. And then he did that, and then he carried the game. Be that guy. Don't be the guy who, man, you know what? Quick anecdote. I had a game like this on Arctic Base earlier, where, like, I was like, ah, fuck, it's Arctic Base. I don't want to play Arctic Base. And I got kind of dished by my team on the first push. I got jumped, so I'm like, all right, well, I have 3-digit HP coming out of iframes on my recover. I'm going to run and, like, go for a base plant. And I went and just hid inside the base without actually trying to plant the bomb, because I'm like, just going to, like, this S-Gun chasing me down will just kill me with, like, incoms or any number of things if I actually go to plant the bomb. I'm going to hide in a part of the base where he's unlikely to see me. He spent the better part trying to kill me and then gave up, left. And then I planted the bomb and left anyway. Like, don't be that guy. Be PJ. Be PJ's. Like, don't be what that dude was doing. The poetic
then-
part is I looked up and realized it was somebody I had blocked on PC, and I was like, oh, well, cool, this is a fucking jackass. Like, good to see him doing things nobody should ever be doing in this game. But pettiness aside, a lot you can take from this replay.
For sure. It was a bizarre match, but it was a match that allowed Heine to sign through. And for that, we thank Heine for sending a match. He sent more, so we are gonna cover more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I thought this was a great one to cover. Like the spacing in this is just so phenomenal all throughout. I was really impressed with it, especially on something that, again, I opened by saying has really awkward floating movement, and he made expert use of that on a map where the terrain goofy at times. But I guess just in conclusion, if you can take anything away from this video, it's that PJ's play, both micro play and macro play, like little things and picture, is an indication of what you should be doing, and the team comps are an indication of what you shouldn't be doing. So, and that about wraps it.
And just like I thanked Heine for the game.
I guess so, yeah.
And in that way, we will also transition to the end of the video. Thank you for watching all the way through, and we'll talk to you later, right?
We'll see you next time.